Hello everyone and welcome back to Wargame Red Dragon. We have a weird game for you guys today where I'm trying to learn Israel. I'm not the best at it. I don't really know all the units that well or understand all of the units that well, and right away there is something in this advance that I do already regret, which is the purchase of the Pera. 110 point ATGM vehicle with 6 frontal armor sounds like a nice purchase, but as I'm beginning to find here, testing this out, it very rarely makes its money back. So we have a Ram Recce headed forward, trying to get a forward position there, carrying a unit of Moglon, a Siphon up here just sort of scouting, and a Ram TCM and a Hummer carrying Tanakim, I think the high-tech version of the Tanakim, up toward that section of Fox. We also do have a relatively large push going over to Golf, but it's relatively slow, so the Hummer is leading the way, but behind it is a bunch of Zeldas. I do have some ATGM, some spike teams, things like that, and the Moglon right away find their target, or at least spot their target, is lowly Centurion Aver. 30 points for this guy, 12 frontal armor is pretty meaty, but it looks like 2 shots will still get the job done. Actually, 2 Moglons shooting in, so a bit of a waste there, but yeah, no, ATGM just barely fired. Okay, we also do have some spots over here, and this was annoying. So my Ram TCM got stuck in the mud and wasn't able to take out the enemy scout helicopter, which is hiding just behind the hill. So very nice positioning there from my opponents, and there's a lot coming for us in Fox, but I didn't really see it at the time. I was looking over here in Golf trying to get something done, as there's a lot of stuff here and I don't really have much to handle it. Spike team is firing away, and if we take a look, that is going to be a dead Leopard C2 Maxis. Wonderful side shot there. But there's a Challenger 2 back here, there's a Falcon, a Ferret Mark II spotting, and I have nothing over here for the Challenger 2. So that's going to be pretty rough. I mean, Rovite and Zelda's trying to secure the far woods. They're just going to get shot to pieces. In the meantime, Vickers Mark 11s have killed my Ram TCM. And even though we get one with the Tanakim, the other one is going to be able to dodge that second shot and move back. So, out of range of the Tanakim 95 and over into the woods as my Tanakim get absolutely pounded. Alright, let's go back to just my perspective here, and you can see the Pera is not really getting anything. He's kind of out in the middle of everything, so easy to spot, and I'm trying to reverse him back and into the woods. The idea is maybe get him through the woods over to here and use him as an area denial for any sort of reinforcements headed over to Charlie, but as is going to happen pretty soon, I think he does get stuck almost immediately. Yep, rough ground upon entering the woods, and that's going to be just bad positioning all around. So, in the meantime, Challenger 2 is destroying my reinforcements. My double squad of Megacha 6 Bet Gauls is not going to be up for that sort of engagement, and so they're just hiding in the woods, dead purchases, right? So, 140 points could have been used for a tank that could, well, better fight the Challenger 2, and my spike team's coming up here trying to provide some support, but I mean, even if he lands 21 AP against the 23 frontal armor that Challenger 2 is only going to be 1 point of damage apiece. Not exactly ideal. I also do have another spike team. These guys were reinforcements headed up through Echo, and they're trying to get an angle, but it's a bit far away, and this is a risky movement besides, because if there's enemy stuff in the woods here spotting, my push wasn't able to get over there before I got killed, so it's going to be just a bit of an interesting decision. So in the meantime, I am bringing out 2 more 6-bet Gauls. I do regret this in hindsight, but the idea was just cavalry tank overwhelm him, right? So if I can get these guys into the woods here, and then all 4 of us charge, yeah, we'll lose a bet Gaul. We might even lose 2, but just the sheer number of tank shots going in might be okay. In the meantime, Ram Recce on this side is going to be scouting up, finds Green Jacket, and does retreat there, and I should have probably brought out some sort of resupply vehicle for that Moglon. So my Pera still has gone from stuck in the mud to detract, so 2 critical failures inside of the first 5 feet of trees, because, you know, why not? And I am shooting in now with the MAR 290. This thing is not my favorite artillery piece, but it's been used against me very well by a fellow called Heinz not too long ago, and I figured I'd give it a shot. That first volley, however, didn't get any kills. And you can see, this is the issue. So my Rovite and the Tanakim that were in here previously were engaging every once in a while with their tertiaries. And as soon as they did that, the commandos in the woods would engage, and then that allows all the tanks back here in that Challenger 2 to get shots in. So that's very much not what you want. Calling in a Tsefe, trying to clear part of Fox, as I do have 2 Megacha 6s that I kind of thought better of it and thought, okay, well maybe these guys can go up toward Fox, but I don't want to, you know, drive right into the face of one of those one of those Mark 11s. That would really kind of suck, 17 AP power on wheels. But there's a reinforcing Falcon up here, and my E, that wonderful, wonderful helicopter and large investment, is basically immediately dead. So this kind of sucks. And if we take a look at the overall map position now, you can see I'm definitely on the back foot. My opponent has control of most of Fox, control of most of Golf, has a good defensive line around Charlie, and is just isolating Bravo, preventing any good action there. And he doesn't really need to take Bravo at this point, right? If he takes Charlie, Fox, Golf, that's all you really need. But we were able to get some good work done here, and the Magotch 6-bet Gauls are going to be moving up against the Vickers and the Falcon. Zelda's just trying to distract the Vickers, so they're already aiming, they're already shooting in at the Zelda, which means that when my Magotch 6s crest the hill, they should be able to get the first shot. At least that's the idea. And there it is, we get it. Falcon trying to kill my 6-bet Gaul, weapons jammed, but the other Magotch is able to get the job done, and Machbet takes down that scout helicopter. Finally, we have some good motion going forward in Foxtrot, so not too bad there. It could be worse. There is a helicopter coming in. I thought this might have been some sort of Lynx 3 or something like that, and yep, it was just for a second spotted as a Lynx 3. Challenger 2 is also spotted, and you can see the Spike team's getting some good work done. These THs are 20 points, and between him and the Magotch 6, we did get both of those down. 40 points worth of kills is pretty nice. And something else did get shot. No, that's just the trail. What is that? Smoke trail going down for nothing. Huh. You don't see that every day. Is that a plane? Shouldn't be. Well, who the hell knows? Anyway, Magotch 6s are taking a bit of a concave here, so the first one can get the first shot in, the second one hopefully able to shoot without getting shot back. The Challenger 2 takes out my second Magotch in those woods, and I've lost control on everything on that side of the river at this point. So, smoke coming in, and this was a bit of a questionable decision. I was trying to block off the Challenger 2 from hitting my Rovait, but he actually is going to... I'm going to want that line of sight here in a minute, as I did just get enough points for a Barak by. So if I had not smoked, and that Challenger 2 had kept shooting, this would have worked out far better. As it is, the smoke does its work, I lose line of sight, and because of that, my Barak doesn't really do anything. Now, the Mar 290 did pound in there as well, and if we just take a look at the effect of that, very little. So it did kill a lot of commandos, and that is pretty nice. These guys are really good infantry for the points. But the Challenger 2 took like 1 point of damage maybe and got panicked, so and he's being moved back, and you can see there's an HLVW resupply vehicle that's being called out there, but it really didn't have the effect that I had wanted, and my Rovait are still getting shot, and that Challenger 2 is, I mean, he's still there. So my Barak did just keep circling, and this is the opportunity I was kind of hoping for. If you can see, the angle we're going to get with that Barak is going to be a side shot in the Challenger 2, going in after that nice weak side armor there. One missile is all it takes to get the kill. So we do clear that out pretty well, and Rovait will be able to outduel one remaining commando, but they won't be able to take out these new TH-495s and whatever infantry they're bringing in. So very nice constant stream of reinforcements from the Commonwealth player is going to keep me at bay. You can see these are Canadian Rifles 85. They're no Commandos 90, but 20 rounds per minute on the secondary is pretty good, and the C7 is no slouch. So I mean, they don't even need it. The TH-495s are enough to kill that entire screen of Rovait before they can get away. So, climbing a mountain to escape didn't seem to really work out for them. I wonder why. So, if we take a look overall at the field now, I am still holding in Fox, I am still holding in Bravo, and most of the combat's going on in Golf. So I do have a Spike team that's going to be fending things off there, hopefully making this seem like a bit of a porcupine area to just not go into for my opponent, but swing and a miss, and I'm down to one Spike missile left. Let's see if it does get any use, and the Barak gets called back out. We were both laughing about this at the time. You're not supposed to call in these sorts of planes unless it's the equivalent value or greater to the plane in case it's a one-way trip. And I was just like, you know what, screw it, we're going in, let's give it a try. But Vimes is pushing up now against Fox again, so Rovait are taking the brunt of that, and my two Magotches are going to have to perform well. Tanahim also moving forward, hoping to get those B300s online. Some of the THs do crest the hill and get immediately smacked. That's the way I wanted that working, but now we are late on the draw on the second one, and one of the Leopards goes down. We do get the kill, so that is a dead Mexus. Lovely explosion there. Yeah, very nice, love to see it. But we are weakened here, and yeah, it was at cost, but yeah, it's still not exactly ideal. So I'm moving the other Magotch 6-bet Gaul back, and that volley got nothing, so it's not even really worth looking at. So coming in the Bell 205A, we have Recon Infantry. I think this is additional, actually no, this was Bedouins. Yeah, this is a bad idea. I need them on the ground, but well, I only had them in the air, so that's what we had at the time. And then I have at Cepha B. So the Canadian rifles I saw moving up, the TH-495s I saw moving up, this seemed like a way to dissuade them from moving forward. The FFARs and M151 Hydra rocket pods should be able to take out a couple groups of those without too much trouble, and also just serve as a deterrent, unless there's forward AA, which I didn't really see coming in at the time. We also do have more infantry moving up in Zeldas, and Bedouins trying to get some sort of recon, since I had lost most of my recon in this area. And the idea now is basically, well, I'm taking out a +2 because I have capped Echo. My opponent has the ability to cap more, but he hasn't yet. So let's force him to buy those CVs, and while he's doing that, well, we can maybe get some sort of successful push. So calling in a 3D Baz to anchor this side of the formation, and the idea is basically spot with infantry, spot with the Rovayit and the Zeldas, and then back it up with its FB, back it up with that huge tank gun, and try to basically turn this forest right here into a trap. And you can see it has been reinforced pretty heavily. TH-495s, 3 of them, a Ferret Mark II, Canadian rifles, and there's more in the woods besides and on the town. But if I can just start here, if I can make him throw his resources into that section of woods, then that could be a very good thing indeed. Charlie has been capped, and a Stormer is going to be going after my Zelda. By the way, the Para died an ignominious death to a Stormer. So, yeah, that was really not a lot of fun. Now I see why people go with the Hafiz. The cheaper investment is a lot safer, I guess. But Cepha B is unloading into these guys, and I just want to see the effect of that real quick. Not the best damage. Yeah, I guess the those secondary rocket pods really aren't the best for that. Barak evac ordered, getting a little bit greedy there. And the Mar-290 is going to be pounding into the town. So these guys were all at full strength, and that's all 4 shots. 2 kills on Canadian rifles, not exactly awe-inspiring sort of work from that. But my Cepha B did kind of okay. We did damage a lot of stuff in there, and we're just going to be moving back and resupplying. So, not too bad. Spike team also resupplying, but I need recon over here. Otherwise, it's pretty pointless to have this guy and just have him be blind. He won't be able to shoot at anything until it's already well within weapons range for return fire. So, not exactly what you want. And this was the point I was sitting there going, you know what? This may very well be a loss, and that's kind of okay. So unless something spectacular happens, I didn't really have much confidence that I could turn it around. I didn't really know the tools of the deck that I was using, and I was just kind of having to make do the best I could with what I had. So, I mean, I've just seen people throw Rova 890 forward, and then just let everything that Israel has for fire support do the killing. And that's what I had certainly tried to do, but I think I just ended up throwing away infantry for basically no gain, which then put me behind on board position and value. So Ferret Mark II will immediately die to its FAB. Arguable use there, but I mean, blinding your opponent's always a useful thing, and that's what I'm trying to do with the smoke here as well. Block off any sort of ATGMs coming from the town, or a tank shell is coming from that farther back forest, and also just make him nervous. I mean, this is often the precursor to a push, so I thought, well, let's get him used to it. Let's see if he interprets that smoke as I'm coming to getcha. And, well, it's hard to tell. So the Falcon's still there, the Canadian rifles are still in a defensive posture, and the other ones have been moved out of the town. Yeah, I don't really think he fell for it, but I had to try. Bedouins are scooching up, and these guys, just wonderful vision, but getting kind of wrecked by those TH-495s, and there we go. So not able to stay, not spotted myself, and we do actually get a kill on the Falcon there, so if you take a look, that vehicle is dead. Ooh, a little shaky cam. Yeah. So we got a kill on that vehicle, and that's at least the first return that we've gotten off the Mar-290. We'll have to see if it does anything else. Cepha B is back in full loadout there, so fully equipped, and we're going to have to be moving him forward once again. Apologies for the sirens in the background, they're not coming for me, and I hope everyone is alright. But we are also getting some infantry on this side, some Zeldas on this side, and I'm thinking, okay, can I do a simultaneous push? Can we weaken my opponent here and then push in from both angles? But, I mean, you guys also saw the red moving forward in Fox, and that has to be worrisome as well. So, at this point, a couple Mexuses, one Mexus, Centurion Aver, Commandos 90, Ferrets, AA moving up, 3 sets of tracked rapiers. I didn't have any idea that these were there. But, I mean, it's that point in the game where people do those sorts of investments, so not terribly surprising, and my Barak had been getting away with quite a bit. So, I guess, yeah, I can understand it. And then, I don't know, I mean, we're holding in Bravo and it's fine. It's just, this is going to be a losing game eventually. The fact that we were up 123 points was really just because my opponent, I think, was as insecure about his front line as I was. I mean, losing that Challenger 2 is a big loss, and definitely an investment that you don't want to have go to the wayside. You can see it leads to just a bit of a sitzkrieg, so I'm not actually giving any orders at the moment. Yeah, we're just sort of talking it out, so we were talking on Discord, just trying to figure out what's going on. Trading some barbs, jabs, things like that, and I think he had thought that I could see his home zone, and I couldn't, and if we look at why, it's because one of the ferrets was spotted, but it was out in the open just barely, so he's like, ah, damn it, you got around my back line. And I was like, no, I didn't. But, you know, easier said than believed. So the Mar-290 will be shooting in again. We have the Cephid moving up in a second and a third Mar-290, because I just felt like being that guy. I figured if one of them couldn't get me kills, maybe 3 of them could, and yeah, this volley here, again, just not the best positioned. I was trying to go after the last known position of the Stormer, but yeah, I don't know, the spread on that thing is just so big. It's a relatively short distance too, right? Because you gotta remember, dispersion is proportional with distance. So I thought, well, it's the smallest map in the game, and yeah, I'm shooting at the other end of it, but it still shouldn't be all that impactful, should it? So, resupply vehicle going out. I do now have infantry here out the wazoo, and these Hammer buys are going to be carrying Sanahim, so that's pretty good as well. And a second Merkava 3B, well, I guess first 3B, we also have a 3D Baz, and a 6-bet Gaul. This is going to be the direction of the push when it comes, and we'll have to see if anything can be made out of it. So, I mean, right now we're just still sitting. It was just one of those where, yeah, neither one of us felt that comfortable, so, you know, it is what it is. But now all 3 Mar-290s opening up, and I think we got a single ferret kill. Maybe? No, not yet. And yeah, we damaged a ferret Mark II. Look at that. 3 90-point AA pieces, and we managed to damage a single 10-point vehicle. Like, you gotta love it. Maybe that was just 2. This guy's reloaded. Yeah. Anyway, point being, 180 points of artillery shooting in for no effect at all. So, Slyphon is going to be probing forward now as we get back into the swing of things after that little brief sitzkrieg, and we are spotting some infantry here. I'm trying to see if the Cephid can do good work, and yep, there it is again. We also get just out of dodge before whatever it was right there could shoot back at us, so let's take a look. Yeah, some dead TH-495, some injured TH-495s, and the Canadian rifles are still alive and well. But we are going to get a kill on that resupply vehicle there, or I think it was a ferret actually, just using those to scout and force. And the Laish is now going to be preparing this ground a little bit, so we're going to get some smoke down across the bridge, and I'm also just probing forward with the Zelda, as Golf is finally capped, and that means just Foxtrot is the point of contention, but the Cephid is merciless. Look at those Canadian rifles, not enjoying that at all, and yeah, they're just 10 points apiece, but that Cephid, it's not his first rodeo, not his first volley either. And so we are getting some good stuff done. Rova 890 trying to probe forward. The idea was basically I thought I had a better angle of fire from these guys than I actually did. And now we have the Hammers and Zeldas moving forward. We're going to cross this bridgehead, we're going to retake the town and see what we can do for staking a claim on, well, a very contentious zone. So, my Rovi are kind of getting shredded, and this is something I should have expected. My enemy's reinforcements moving up to the woods on that side, but it also means that he's looking there instead of here, and now, finally, he can spot that big column. Unfortunately, great positioning off the C2 Nexus. I wasn't able to get a shot off the spike, so in comes the Barak, and down goes that tank. So, nice work there, but AA gets revenge. 135 point plane traded for a very considerably cheaper tank. But now we are going to have revenge of the Mar-290s. So this was interesting, and I'm going to show it because of that. These guys shot, and then they immediately started moving backward. The thing is, I didn't really see exactly where they shot from. I thought they shot from farther back, so as soon as those shells go off, we'll take a look there. But Sanahim are having troubles crossing the bridge. There's just Canadian rifles holding this town. We should be able to get there, and the grenade launcher off the Merkava is doing yeoman's work. Here comes the shots, and these tracked rapiers are pretty far back. Yeah, I guess it landed pretty forward, but there's one kill, and second kill, and let's see if we can get the last one. Last volley coming in. Third kill, so all 3 of those guys downed in a single volley off of those 3 artillery pieces, finally making up some worth and actually making my Kurnos sort of useless. But Fox is finally capped, And even with only 18 minutes left, that is going to be a big problem for me in this game if I can't do something about it. Sanahim are in the town, and those wonderful B300s are making life hell for my opponent, but since I've lost my Barak, I have nothing for that Challenger 2, and my other infantry are getting shredded. So the 3B is going to have to go in for a duel here, but we're shooting at Canadian rifles, and this really hurt. So I should have gotten the first shot off, I didn't, and that Challenger 2 did instead. So smoke is coming down, just a defensive measure, trying to cut off the line of sight for the Challenger 2. Not quite able to do it that well. I think he has actually lost sight on the 3B, and good for me, I do have an Oshkosh back here that should get us some amount of health back on that tank. Unfortunately, I did lose the Baz, and that I think was just to the Challenger 2. It's while we were looking over here on the right for that artillery shot, but FAB is moving forward. I would hope that I cleared out enough of his AA to get something good going here. We do get a couple kills, it looks like. Rocket pods on the way, Canadian rifles going down, but I don't want to overstay my welcome either. Helicopters are best used cautiously, shall we say, and so we are going to be scooching backwards as there's more stuff coming in, and these guys looked like tanks to me. It was a little bit hard to tell, and behind him, yeah, I mean, those both look like tanks. Let's see if we were right about that hunch. Actually, no, Centurion Avers. But things are pretty light here now, so everything on the left side has been pretty well killed. We got 6-Back Gaul working with its FAB, are able to stun that Centurion Aver, and who gets the last point on him? Yes, so actually FAB gets the kill on the Aver, so pretty satisfying in that regard, but there's a large column of reinforcements coming back in there, so we do have to be cautious, and that not Leopard 2, but Challenger 2 is not going away. Here comes the artillery, and pounding in, again, that has to be uncomfortable for my opponent's reinforcements. All of those Commandos and Commandos 90, yeah, get shredded. Commandos 90 getting wrecked by a single shot there. Fortunately, the larger group was far enough back to avoid any sort of pain. FAB moving back to rearm, and the other one just staying up here as a deterrent as more Rovai eats. So this is interesting. I've recently encountered a bit of a glitch, so when you have infantry moving across bridges, sometimes they get stuck. And these guys were on the other side of the bridge technically, but they were stuck. I couldn't move them to save my life, or theirs. So a little bit interesting there. And I don't know. So we have secured this bridgehead. Our offensive worked to an extent, but I'm not sure how much farther I can push into Gulf, and just holding this single town with my opponent's reinforcements heading into the woods on the left-hand side, it's not exactly a nice way to keep a CV alive, right? So if we look for spots for that, we could go in the town, which would be a nice way to get shot. We could go to the left of it, which until I secure this not bridgehead, but woods over there, is going to be a bad idea. And we do also have a bomber coming in. This was beautiful. So my my Zeldas and Hammers did get killed, but the Kafir got revenge, and Sanahim moving up to secure that area should do pretty good work at it. Meanwhile, we do have more Sanahim moving forward. That's basically all I had. And the stack was Sanahim 95 and Rova 90, so we had the big punchy boys in quick things, and we had the meat shields and slow things. Barak coming in, and we do get a kill, but stunned, panicked. Evac was trying to be ordered there, and let's see, Evac ordered, and he does get out with another kill notched under his belt. So the Baraks are definitely good ATGM planes. I've been really happy with how they performed, especially considering I've been disappointed by things like Syria's recently that just, they only have 2 missiles, and they never seem to land the complete first volley, so it's just a little bit unfortunate. And now we're switching back over to this side, trying to get revenge on the Stormer that shot in, but he was moved, so really nice micro there, just moving things that popped up as spotted. So, I mean, my counterfire was in the right spot for where he was, just not for where he moved to. And that's definitely a valuable thing. We do only have a couple minutes left in this match, so if you are interested in the kill list, that'll be coming up soon as the game is over. We've got about 3 minutes left. And you can see part of that's going to be because the tanks are moving across again. We have a full Oshkosh trying to move up there. I have an Auxiliary Pakud going for a cheeky cap in Gulf, and Sanahim and Hammers trying to move across here to get into the woods. So I figured if I could clear things out on this side, maybe I could push my opponent farther back, and getting around behind that Challenger 2 would be a nice way for the Sanahim to land that important, valuable kill. So Kafir bomber coming in, and let's take a look at what that does. Falcon, Challenger 2, and Canadian rifles. Yeah, I mean, the Falcon's dead, the Challenger 2 is fine, he doesn't care about HE, explosions, anything like that, but the Sanahim get kind of wrecked. So the Challenger 2 is able to get his guns online, Canadian rifles, we're moving forward, we're trying to shoot in, and supporting fire is going to be pretty nice against the group that's farther out, and yeah, I mean, they're getting ripped to shreds, but so are my Tsanahim, and yeah, I kind of wish I had an attack move. They're just using the FN mag, and they're staying out of range of some things, but not everything, and that was a little bit rough. But my 2 tanks are going to be moving out from behind here shortly, trying to get some good kills, and I should have the K-Feeder up soon as well. Again, Rovait encountering Canadian rifles, and here are those C2 Mexuses doing good work, but Rakava 3B will win that fight. Here comes the K-Feeder, and let's look at that explosion. Down go the commandos, down go all of those infantry units that were holding, just evaporated by the K-Fear, and now the Tsanahim are able to get that anti-tank weapon online. 1 shot, 3 points of damage. We got 6-bet Gaul trying to get some shots in, taking out an ATGM team, but that Challenger 2 is the prize, not the lowly Centurion Aver or things like that. Sifib moving forward, we're trying to clear this out as quickly as we can, but that Challenger 2 still holding strong. Tsanahim are dead, and we're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. So, 3B moving forward, 6-bet Gaul moving forward, both of them doing so blind. I should have had more recon here, but as always, when I play Israel, my recon just dies, and Eric's teams are going to give me a very bad day combined with that Challenger 2. So, 1-2 punch, taking away 9 points of strength off the 3B, and we get a couple shots back, but a single-bet Gaul now against a Challenger 2 is not going to be a winning fight, even if we do get a nice crit there with the firing computer reset. So that'll drop his accuracy. 10% accuracy might keep us alive long enough to retreat, but I don't know. I mean, we're shaken. Our accuracy is not great. The Barak is the one that gets the kill, and with that, I mean, we have cleared things out pretty well here. So the forest is empty. I mean, I don't have anything for it either, but there's just Canadian rifles, Oslavs, a couple things there. We're still on the back foot. But I think at this point, we're getting close to annoying my opponent enough that even with superior map position, once these bombers come in and start taking things out, Kurnos as well, taking out more of the tracked rapiers, that is going to be a surrender. So even though we had the ticking war score, I guess, for Conquest, that's going to be 2175 kills to me, 1615 to my opponent. And sometimes morale has a surprising effect. It's not shown on the unit cards, but it's definitely felt by the players. Muglons did okay. For the kill list, we have 6-bet Gaul, this was the one up top. Vickers, Falcon, Oslav, TH495 did pay for himself there. Pretty nice. Barak with the Challenger 2, and a C2 Mexus, and that 20.495 just cuz is pretty nice. Cefa B, I mean, I'm not entirely sure this guy paid for himself, but he got close, and definitely was able to help me hold that side in the face of a superior foe, so pretty nice there. 3B did not pay for himself, not even close, and neither did my other heavy tank, but the K-Fear did, not that great. I think I had a second K-Fear as well, though I don't see him. But we definitely got more kills. Sometimes bombing run kills don't show up that well, because we definitely took out Commandos 90 with the K-Fear in that second bombing run, so a little bit hard to say. Second Barak, second Challenger 2, pretty nice. And that's going to be all we have for you guys today. So, thank you all for hanging around, and we'll see you again real soon.